Is that going to affect our marketing any? Is it going to be less effective? Or?
I love it. Hey, everybody, if you're hopping on, feel free to hit play anytime. Get going. We'll get going in a few minutes. Excited to share this.
Hey. Yeah, and we're actually having a conversation about moving this training to Tuesday. And if that would be helpful for you, then please let us know. If it would not be helpful for you, then let us know too, because we have some things that we would like to attend to better ourselves, to ultimately better how we get to serve you. So that in mind.
So if you're okay with Tuesday, feel free to send us an email. And one thing I would like to say is if you've been watching recently or not, a lot of Brian and I, we were taking advice from a lot of different people about the way we do our trainings. And what we'd like to do is make sure that we have some very specific exclusive content every week. So be sure to tune into future webinars and trainings, because we want to make sure that we cover something different every single week. But a lot of it will be a still introduction for all the new people that are just being introduced to Brian and I. We're glad to have you this evening, and we're glad to share this content with you. And we're really excited about the information we have to share with you.
Yeah, and get some water. Why is it echoing now?
I don't know. I'm good. Still got echo? If you don't have it, grab pen and paper, grab some water. We love to give a lot of information, so make sure you take great notes. Drink some water, because that's what Brian and I do constantly. And we'll tell you to drink some water too when we've got some slides up and we're taking some drinks. Go ahead and get going, or what, Brian?
Yes, do it.
So today's topic of conversation is digestive health. One of the most important things you can learn about. It's the way your body detoxifies. It's the way your body, it's 85% of your immune system. It's where you absorb all of your nutrition. It's where most of your allergies affect you. And it's this symbiotic relationship we have with good and bad bacteria that live in our digestive system. Trillions and trillions of bacteria, actually more bacteria in the 4 or 5 pounds of gut than you have cells in your whole body. So that balance is very important, and so many people have issues with digestive health that they don't know how to resolve. And so we're going to try to answer some of those questions tonight. Also, if you haven't heard this term before, this is IActual Genesis. And we'll go into what that is in just a few minutes, but this is the term that really shook Brian and I, because it made us aware of how broken our medical system really was. So our promise tonight is, by the end of this webinar, you will know more about digestive system responsible for 85% of your immune system and the power of foods on your immune system. We just want to empower you and educate you about how to have really good digestive health. So we invite you now to be fully present, right? Just mute your phones or turn them off, close your Facebook, grab some water, pen and paper, and just be mindful and heartful about this information we're going to share with you this evening, okay? Because look, today is all you have. You've taken this moment now to invest in yourself, so make the absolute most of it. Just focus in, pay attention, and be open-minded to this information, because this information can change your life, and it might change your friend's life, might change your family's life, the people that you hold closest dear, because this information is absolutely life-changing.
So if you stay to the end, we actually have a special gift for you. We like to reward the people who invest in themselves. And when you invest in yourselves, we actually love to invest in you, because you're committed, not interested. You are committed to seeing results in your life, and you are the people that we love to work with. So if you stay till the end, we're going to show you how you actually get a free 20-minute consultation where we will discuss whatever you choose. And I think it's really important, because you may be having the thought of, you know, what can you do in 20 minutes? Well, let me give you a couple of examples of what has happened this past week, this past month. I've had a lot of these little bitty consultations going on, and there's 2 of them that come to mind immediately, where literally there's a lady who has had asthma for over 20 years and who has had debilitating knee problems for 20 years that we were able to resolve in 14 minutes. And it was all because of belief systems that she was functioning on as to how her body was showing up like that. So a lot can happen in 20 minutes. So let's just discuss the current state. I think it's really crucial for you to understand where we're at as a nation. So heart disease, the number one killer, 584,000 deaths a year. Second one, actually cancer. Cancer like my passes up, 611,000. You've got stroke down at 128,000, almost 129. You've got Alzheimer's, which is 84,000. Diabetes, which is on a fast rise. 1/3 of our population is overweight and obese, and that's a lot due to the information that is out and about that is inaccurate. And then you also have flu with Mr. Bugs Bunny, almost 57,000 deaths a year. So we put these things out there so you have an understanding of what's truly going on. And here's some important things for you to understand. Death by modern medicine. Annual numbers. This is 2013, and this is the most accurate and up-to-date information available. They are a couple years behind, unfortunately. 2.2 million adverse drug reactions a year. There's 20 million prescribed antibiotics for viral infections. And the reason why this is so important is because when we take antibiotics, that kills our probiotics. When we kill our probiotics, there is our digestive immune system boosting. Man, my body language is going nuts. 7.5 million unnecessary surgical procedures. When you say unnecessary, Chris taught, hey, will you mention that part about the appendix, Chris?
Oh, do you know the very first year that they did an appendectomy, they removed the appendix. The very next year, they removed 10,000. And what you have to understand about that is before, it wasn't a big cause of death. What they did is there was ways to massage the appendix to get the toxins to release. And there's still chiropractors and doctors out there that practice this technique because it can save the appendix. And they really didn't know what the back then, and still a lot of people today don't know, but the purpose of the appendix is to lubricate the colon system. And so there is a vital need of this. Now, you can survive without it. Absolutely. There's a couple organs you can survive without, but that doesn't mean it's the optimal ways to live. But anyway, after the very first time they removed the appendix, the very next year they removed 10,000 because it was a new surgical operation that they were able to go and do.
Good business. So 783,000 deaths due to modern medicine, which is the #1 cause of death. There's 350,000 deaths per year linked to overweight and obesity. Now, you heard the term IActual Genesis at the very front part of our chat. You may even heard Chris and I talk about it before, but IActual Genesis is really something that threw Chris and I for a loop. We didn't hear this term until 3 years ago at Institute of Integrative Nutrition. And IActual Genesis means that these are deaths that happen in our medical system that are accidental. Too much medications, wrong medications, sloppy handwriting from doctors that creates unnecessary surgeries and unnecessary medications, staph, MRSA, bed infections, bed sores. There is a lot of people that go to the hospital staph free, but by the time they leave, they have staph because of what goes on with the procedures and things. And I can tell you that staph is not something you want to mess around with. It can be very deadly. So, facts you deserve to know. We have a symptom management system. I say healthcare system, but it's not so much healthcare, it's symptom management. It's $2.7 trillion. It is a major business. In 1926, cancer was the 10th cause of death in our children. Today, it is the #1 cause, even before accidents. By 2020, our medical system treatments will be responsible for 50% of cancers. This is important. 86% of doctors that were polled that actually use the big three, chemo, radiation, and surgery, to treat their clients, 86% of them would not use their own treatments if they came down with cancer. That kind of makes me scratch my head. On an average, there's 212 industrial chemicals found in our body at any one time. An average person urinates out 7 pesticides each time. A study done on infants testing blood levels at the umbilical cord found 287 toxic chemicals, of which 208 are carcinogenic. This means that mom's taking this in from her food and from her environment in her lifetime and passing them on to our little ones. Okay, plastics are the #1 main cause of breast cancer and prostate cancers due to xenoestrogens, which are thousands of times stronger than normal natural estrogen levels found in men and mostly in women. 95% of breast cancers have dental involvement, chemicals that leach directly into our bloodstreams, like mercury fillings. If you have mercury fillings, you definitely should reach out to us.
What we really are trying to make you aware is that there is so much misinformation out there that it's really not your fault. There are so many myths that that operate in this world of nutrition and education that most people aren't even aware that are myths. So I'm just going to go over a couple of them for you real quick, and these may be some what you thought were nutritional rules that you might be operating under. Eating past 6 p.m. makes you fat. No, not true in any way, shape, or form. Don't get me wrong. Eating a pizza right before bed, that'll probably make you fat. Eating a lot of sugar before you go to bed, but eating clean nutrients before you go to sleep or after 6 p.m. absolutely does not make you fat. Low-fat, no-fat diets are good for you. This is actually based on 1960s science when we first discovered cholesterol and that fat produced cholesterol. But back then we didn't know there was multiple types of cholesterol, or we didn't also know that cholesterol diets weren't actually the main victim in heart disease. So this is absolutely not true. Skipping meals to help you lose weight. No. And what kind of weight are you losing is a big educational piece, right? You have lean body mass, muscle and tissue, you have fat mass, and then you have water weight. And people often confuse weight loss with what kind of weight are they actually losing. Medication is the only way to fight disease. Brian and I have studied hundreds and hundreds of foods that have published medical studies to help you fight every single disease. They do the same as so many different types of medications, but without the side effects. Doctor is the only place to go for your health. They might be the legal place to go for your health, but there are definitely so many different aspects of your health to improve upon that the doctor is really not the place to go. Fat-free equals sugar-free. Absolutely not true. In fact, what really happens is when we started pulling fats out of food, we started adding sugar more into food. And this has led into our huge diabetes situation. It has led into actually worse heart disease. And we are struggling as a nation in our health because of some of these lies. All sugars are created equal. Also absolutely not true. Just the simple difference between sugar and high fructose corn syrup, the different percentages of fructose versus glucose has a huge impact on your body. You can lose up to 20 pounds of fat in 7 days. Wow, I've heard that so many times, always trying to sell these weight loss products. In actuality, Brian and I have done thousands of diets. A really great diet with a really good exercise program is about 2 pounds of fat per week. And that's if you're doing everything perfectly. And because a fat equates to about 3,500 calories. And if you're losing more than that, most likely you're losing water weight or muscle tissue, both of which are not great long-term. And you can outwork a bad diet, which is also not true. It's a big lie, right? And so you can see this all the time with like fitness fighters, like people that are in amazing shape, but they still don't have great figures. It's all about their diet. It has to do with the way you look. So what does everybody want, right? You've got, and these are some of our sort of common clients. We have business professionals and entrepreneurs and all types of people that are really invested in themselves and trying to improve their lives. You have the sick. You have people that are stuck on diabetes medication, Alzheimer's, people struggling with cancer or stuck on multiple 3, 4, 5, 6 different medications that they've been on for 10, 20, 30 years. And just people that are struggling to just lose the weight. Then down here in the corner, we have all this misinformation people are being fed. What am I actually supposed to do? But the thing that everybody really wants to do is feel better. And we can help all of these different types of people. But just letting you know, we're just like you. Brian first are an example, right? Obviously, neither of us were in good mental, spiritual, or physical shape at this time. This picture is well over about a decade old. Brian has gained and lost 60 pounds more than 3 different occasions. So he definitely can appeal and identify with those struggling to lose the weight or that have rebounded many times. I never physically was very overweight, but I did struggle, especially emotionally, drugs, alcoholism, and many other different things that I can help others with. But there's good news. All the bad news that we just covered, all the heart disease, all the cancer, all the diabetes, 90% of the deaths that happen in America, iatrogenic deaths or deaths from drug accidental drug adverse drug reactions, these are preventable with better lifestyle choices. Brian and I learned that the 4 pillars of health are by far the most vital for our health. It's just the basic things of air, water, food, and your consciousness. And when we really understood the power of food, when we really understood the power of good, clean, fresh water, and then with power of oxygen and air, we really learned that these are the key things to really bring health back into you. It's not a medicine or a drug or some magic supplement. It's the basics: air, water, and food, and then of course consciousness. The way you think is the way you are. And we teach people, the reason why we call ourselves Think Great is we teach people to think better.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to know that a bad thought can kill you much faster than a bad germ. So here's a little bit about us. Chris and I have over 40 years of combined experience, and we have a multiple walls full of awesome stuff and plaques that we have decided to take on, and mainly because we love what we do. But I think it's important for you to understand who your coaches are and where our backgrounds are coming from. So we have a lot of stuff through National Academy of Sports Medicine, Baylor Sports Medicine, Conquering Any Disease through Eastern Medicine Foods, and understanding grocery store foods, which is where a lot of you may have seen some of our information on Facebook. We do a lot of stuff on body language, and we're going to start rolling out some stuff specifically talking about that, because by far we feel that that is the most important one of them skills that you could learn to enhance your life today, right now. So this is just a little bit of stuff that we've actually done. You can go ahead and look some more of that stuff up on our website, thinkgreatloseweight.com. So here's some stuff and some pictures where Chris and I have done some stuff. And the man up on the top left-hand corner is my one of my clients, Jonathan Sprinkles, America's Connection Coach. He's a public speaker. He's been on multiple TV shows. Actually used to do some stuff on the news on a weekly basis in Houston. The guy's amazing. He's a very humble human being and amazing. A speaker and a connector, and we were just blessed to be able to support him with his nutrition and help his staff to help him keeping optimal while he's on the road. That middle picture down there is me teaching at Aveda. We get invited to go down there to go talk a couple times a year and share with the class and teach stuff that we get to do. We are very in alignment with how they produce products and their whole philosophy as a business. That top picture up there is when Chris and I teaching at Life Austin. We've done multiple conversations / talks and teaching expeditions at Life Austin, where we have multiple series where we do for 3 or 4 months at a time and get to teach there, which is awesome. And if you look in the picture, you can see a heart-shaped pizza and a cupcake. And I think it's really important for you to understand that Chris and I are humans. We love cupcakes. I had 4 of them last weekend. And the beautiful thing about what we do is that we understand how to take these things that you love to do and incorporate them with what you need to do so you can get what you want out of it. And I think it's important because a lot of people, when they think, oh, I'm going to go on a diet, I'm not going to be able to have anything, and it's automatic sabotage. It's nothing like that. The picture up on the right-hand side is Chris talking on Monsanto. I think this is what, your 3rd year to do that, Chris?
Yes, sir. Just finished it.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's gotten invited out there to go speak at the Capitol down here in Austin on Monsanto and genetically modified foods, which is a huge honor for him, for us to be able to evolve and just being able to support our community. And I think it's really important for you to understand that we are huge proponents in personal development. Like, we put ourselves into crazy situations where we go off for 10 days in jungles with our coaches to really go through a lot of stuff. And it's really about up-leveling. It's about pushing ourselves outside of our comfort limits so we understand more about ourselves and where we may be sabotaging ourselves. But it's most importantly so we can show up fully for you no matter where you're at and what you're going through. And I think it's important because if we can't relate to you and we don't understand how to connect with you, then it's going to be very difficult to serve you. So just understand that for Chris and I, our education and our ability to serve is our #1 priority. And we take that very seriously with what we invest our time, our money, and our resources in with our coaches. And we invest heavily in ourselves so that we can ultimately show up for you as best as possible. And I think it's important for you to understand, you see us now, but there's multiple years where you may not have followed us and seen things that were going on and how we had to shift and the things that we went in and were able to get out of. But it's important to understand that we've done a lot of things wrong. We actually used to have a gym facility where we used to actually help work out people, just like that right there. That place was awesome. I missed those workouts. It was probably one of the best workouts that we used to actually do because it was all body weight stuff. But the important thing to remember is it doesn't matter how hard you're personal training people. And what we have found working with over 16,000 people is that when we personal train people, a lot of times they still wouldn't get results. I mean, you can beat them to a pulp. Still wouldn't get results because their food is off. And their food is off because they're subconsciously creating sabotage, meaning they don't love themselves or they have past experiences where they're not worthy and they're not good enough. And all these things are showing up in their actions and lack of action. So what we found is that we got into doing training and stuff we really didn't want to do. What we really desired to do was to teach, just like this, to really share with you the pillars, air, water, food, and consciousness, and teach you the tools and the tricks that most people don't know. What we teach you is not about products. We teach you about lifestyle. We teach you about grocery store foods. We teach you about how to understand what symptoms help out with what foods and how to understand that information, which I'll be honest with you, I've been in this field for 30 years, since I was 7 years old, and I have never found anyone who teaches any of the stuff that we do specifically on the level that we do, combined with all the fun stuff that we actually throw in there. So I feel honored and blessed, and Chris, I know Chris does too, to be able to share it with you. And the important thing to remember is that we discovered all this stuff the hard way, and you actually get the option of having it the easy way.
Hey, look, Brian and I combined experiences over 40 years. We've had over 15,000. It says case studies. Basically means we've worked with over 15,000 clients plus, guaranteed more than that. It's just hard to count past that number. But working with so many people, we have burned through all the myths. We have burned through all the studies. We have studied all the different diet theories. We've studied hundreds of different diet theories. We've gone through all these different certifications, because we figured out that there is no one perfect formula. But we understand enough and we can teach enough that you can find the right formula for you, right? Because there's this concept of bio-individuality where everybody is different, and we can teach you how to implement that stuff and what is right for you. And so now I just want you to imagine some different things. I want you to put yourself, maybe some of these apply to you, maybe they don't, but they're just experiences that a lot of our clients have gone through, and we desire for you to experience this yourself. One is a common thing that we deal with is lethargic. People tired all the time, struggling with their energy, getting that 2 or 3 o'clock afternoon, or just having trouble getting out of bed. And now just imagine you have more energy than you've had in years. It's not this chronic lethargic feeling you have, that's not normal. That's something going on. And tonight in Digestion, we might cover very specifically some of those things. What the heck is that?
What was that?
I don't know. You're wearing clothes that you wore at your best. You're wearing clothes when you were maybe in your high school, your college weight. You're enjoying life pain-free. And look, this one is very personal to me, because maybe you have or you haven't heard my story, but the reason I really dove into this well more than a decade ago was because my mom got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I was very involved with fitness, nutrition, and health at the time. But that's what really set us down this path of studying what they call disease reversal nutrition. And once we understood what fibromyalgia was, that autoimmune disease, we changed my mother's diet. And after about 5 months, all of her symptoms went away. And she's pain-free for the first time in 7 or 8 years. That is, you don't understand how valuable that is, because it doesn't matter how nice a car you have, or how nice a house you have, or what money you got in the bank account, when you don't have your health anymore. None of it means anything. And when you're in excruciating pain all the time and you're not sure how much longer you're going to live, to be pain-free again is like heaven on earth. Relationships more connected than ever before. And I got to tell you, people have disconnected relationships because of communication, internal dialogue, some of that self-sabotage stuff that's going on inside their head. We help you identify what that is so you can break through and empower yourself instead of sabotage yourself. And no longer wasting money on medications. We have a testimonial coming up where somebody was able to get off 5 medications over a period of 3 months. And we have so many of those that that's why we can teach this stuff with pure, absolute confidence, because we've seen so many people totally reverse disease, get off medications, just with the power of grocery store foods.
So yeah, it's important for you to know that we are not doctors, and the information that we give you, we invite you to consider taking it to your doctor. And I will forewarn you that your doctor will not be able to relate unless you are going to a homeopathic or a naturopathic doctor. Your doctor will not relate to the information that we were telling you, even though as logical as it may seem. They do not understand grocery store foods. And matter of fact, their understanding is that our bodies just somehow get sick. They don't understand the emotional components. Matter of fact, let me give you this example. I work with two of the top GI docs in Texas. They're my clients. Gastrointestinal doctors, people that work with our intestines and our digestive systems, all of what we're talking about tonight. I asked one of them, I was like, hey, Chad, I was like, how much of an impact do you think the food that we eat plays on our immune system, on our autoimmune diseases? Autoimmune is when we eat something and our body doesn't understand what it is and it starts attacking it. Autoimmune. I asked him, I was like, how much do you think that actually has an effect on our bodies? And he looked at me, serious as freaking all get out. Like, he's serious. He goes, I don't think it has anything to do with that, Brian. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist. I have enough hours in to be a rocket scientist in my current field. And I can just tell you that it's unfortunate how disconnected the medical system is with how our bodies truly function and what you can do from the grocery store, so much so that Chris and I are irrationally passionate and on a mission to take this information and share it with as many of you as possible because of what we've seen it to do. We are completely selling our souls if we do not. That's the obligation that we have. So let's talk about digestion. We're going to talk about food allergies for a moment. The 7 most common allergies are soy, shellfish, gluten, corn, dairy, wheat, peanuts, and that says process of elimination, meaning if you're not sure, then drop them one at a time and see how you feel. If you're eating dairy, then I invite you to consider coming off of dairy today and using coconut milk or almond milk. Dairy is acidic. It is not good for you. It does not build your bones, and it does not help you with osteoporosis, and it does not help you make muscles like athletes. Athletes don't drink milk. That's propaganda, and that's media from big milk industry, which is a massive industry because of the dairy and because of the cows that we have here in the United States. One of the things to keep in mind is leaky gut syndrome. A lot of us had this. I used to be allergic to avocados. Like literally, when I would eat them, my lip would swell up. I love them so much. I still ate one day and my throat starts to constrict. I was like, that's probably a good idea if I don't do that anymore. Well, what happened was I was able to rebuild my gut by good bellies and by sauerkraut and good fermented foods and by eating raw vegetable smoothies. I was able to rebuild that. So now I actually get to have 1 to 2 full avocados a day with no issue, and my body likes it. But there's so many things that our bodies are reacting off of due to our intestinal tract being swollen, okay? Leaky gut is like, if you think about our intestinal tract has probiotics or should have probiotics all around the lining. When we have processed foods and vegetable oils, omega-6s, when we go to the store or go to the fast food and they use vegetable oils to heat, our body does not like those. What happens is it's inflammatory, so it causes our body to swell up. Well, when we have leaky gut, what happens is when our gut swells, the probiotics are supposed to be lining it, have leaks. So then when we have food that comes in our intestinal tract and our probiotics are supposed to be breaking it all down so that we can digest it, what happens is it starts getting into the leaks, into our bloodstream. And then our immune system is, hey, we got a spill on aisle 9. The immune system is launched. And then everything is going crazy. You have all these autoimmune diseases. Then they start trying to put you on medications when they're not even solving the main issue. So a lot of this stuff can be resolved by understanding gut health. It's responsible for 85% of our immune system. There's IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. If you have irritable bowel syndrome, if you don't write down anything, I would invite you to write down this. Get some shaved coconut. Get some coconut oil. Put the coconut shavings in a small pan. Put the coconut oil in there with it and saute the coconut shavings and eat them. This will stop your diarrhea. I've tested some of the worst cases that I've possibly come across, and they have been forever grateful at reclaiming their freedom of being able to go out in the world without having accidents on themselves and completely be in a prison, but not understanding how to fix it. Medications don't work. This stuff will change it. So you have Crohn's, you have fibromyalgia, you have ulcers, and you have gluten. Healthy gut, what is that? 90% of our immune system is located in the gut, and 50% of the serotonin is produced in the gut. So all of our feel-good hormones are produced in our gut. So if you have bad gut health, you are not going to feel good. You're going to be more than likely to be depressed. If you don't catch your depression, you may potentially be suicidal. Okay, there's over 100 million neurons located in our gut. They call it the second brain. I would almost consider this probably one of the first. So it's kind of interesting. We have anywhere from 6 to 20, and I've even heard of 50. There is a famous gentleman that died that was a big-time country western meat eater. 50 pounds is what they found him with when he passed. That's how much foods are sometimes left in our intestinal tract. So sometimes, a lot of times, eating fibers and things like that. Where our slides go? There you go. So keep that in mind, and this does not exclude you and I mean, I consistently do lots of healthy foods, and sometimes I do cleanses too to balance things out, so we can talk about that. But America spends over $100 billion on digestive care. That is ridiculous. If you are drinking water while you eat, stop. That's where a lot of your indigestion issues are, and then the doctor gives you antacids, which keeps you from creating stomach acids to break down your foods. How does that work? Crazy. A little bit of, I don't know, it's not even rational to me. It doesn't make sense. Let's move forward. If you have good digestion, you will have one very good bowel movement a day, and typically 2 smaller ones throughout the day after your meals. If you are not going to the bathroom, ladies and gents, I love you, and you really require having a conversation. You need to have a conversation with us, because here's the deal. Dr. Lindsay Duncan's amazing. He said this to me one day, Brian. He goes, you know what? Big bowel movements, small hospitals. Little bowel movements, big hospitals. Because that means that your body is getting septic, which means you are literally dying because of all of the poison, the gases, the bowel movements that haven't been excreted are sitting there in your system, and your body is choking on them internally. Okay? Not healthy. So we invite you to reach out to us so we can help you. Everyone goes to the restroom, so it's okay to talk about it. People get a little freaked out about it, but everybody does it. It's all good. Enjoy yourself. So here's a little video on one I did from the grocery store that may be helpful for you. Sound?
And I'm actually doing my favorite pastime, which is at the grocery store, and I'm just choosing to take a minute to share with you what I'm grabbing for my smoothie this morning. So, Swiss chard. This is the valedictorian of vegetables because of the vitamin and mineral content. It actually has some stuff called syringic acid in it, which is great for type 1 diabetics because it helps to balance out the blood sugars. You can see the dense colors and the different veins and the nutrients that are in there. It's very high in calcium, very high in magnesium. Great for diabetics, one. Next one, carrots. These are actually really good in the sense that you see how orange they are. They're very high in beta-carotene, which is great for your lungs and your eyes. Also higher in sugar content. So if you are a diabetic, you definitely don't want to juice these. You want to make sure that you use them in a blender so that you're getting all the fibers to slow down the sugar absorption. Bam. Broccoli. Very high in omega-3 seeds, which is endocrine, great for cancer and reversing those type of situations. Any estrogen-based cancers, this is very high in DEM, which is amazing for you. And you know where most of the nutrients are found? Not in the top, but actually in the stem, which is called glucoraphanin. So when you cook this stuff, don't throw away the stem. That's very important. Next one, beets. Beets beat disease, very high in betaine, which is great for helping with heart situations. Also has some stuff called uridine in it, which helps with depression. Make sure you can also, too, just make sure you wash them very well, but you can use the stems because there's a lot of nutrients in there. Beets also have a significant amount of sugar, so you want to make sure that you use them completely, like with blended versus juicing. They're also great for helping to reverse anemia. If you do have anemia, you want to make sure that you use the kiwi or something that has high in vitamin C to help with bringing in the iron in the body so your body will actually absorb it. The next cool one is the yellow beet. This one actually has very high in zeaxanthins, which are great for your eyes. So anytime you have that orange color, you can bet that those are good for your eyes and good for your lungs. The red is good for your blood right there, so you have stuff flying everywhere. The red beets right there. The carrots we talked about with the lungs, and then you've also got cucumber. Bam, second highest source of silica. So females who have osteoporosis situations, you're looking to increase your bone density. Very good. Most of the nutrients are found in the skin, so you want to make sure that you get an organic cucumber so that you're not shaving all of it off. It also is your most outgoing vegetable, so for water content and boosting your hydration, very effective. Also great for balancing out blood sugar. So if you have blood sugar issues, this is something you want to add in your diet. So when I say diet, I don't mean like in the sense of where diet's a better term for lifestyle eating. So hopefully this information was something that can help you out. And remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness. Have an awesome day.
That's right. So what are some things that you can do for immediate improvement in your digestive health? One, probiotics. Look, most people have a terrible imbalance of good and bad bacteria. Maybe you've heard the term Candida. Candida is one of these bad bacteria. It feeds off sugar, artificial sweeteners, feeds off a lot of processed food, which most of your good bacteria can't feed off of at all. And so a lot of people actually have terrible sugar cravings because they actually have Candida overgrowth. And it's actually causing them to have terrible cravings for sugars. If you have bad gas, right? A lot of that food is getting undigested and sitting and rotting in your digestive tract, causing methane release. There's two big brands that we recommend. One, Good Belly. They have these big shots. They're usually in the refrigerated section of your health food store. There's 50 billion shots. They're like yogurt, refrigerated ones. They taste pretty good. There's also Dr. O'Hare's. But if you're looking for more of an all-natural solution, we recommend a lot of fermented foods. Sauerkraut is one. You can get kombucha. It's actually fairly low in probiotics specifically, and it also has yeast. Nattokinase, which is a fermented soy, tempeh, miso. But the best one is fermented sauerkraut. Trillions of probiotics per ounce. It's something about fermented cabbage that just produces some really amazing natural probiotics. That's also what is in kimchi, which also has a lot of spices in it, but it's also a fermented cabbage. And the spices in kimchi actually can be an endocrine or a metabolic booster. They can help speed up your metabolism. Rich in endo-3-carbanols, DIM, glutamine, and produces hydrogen. So really highly recommend fermented cabbage. Antibiotics. That's the problem, is they kill all the bacteria. So if you've recently been on antibiotics, if you have been suffering stomach issues since you had been on antibiotics, it's time, hopefully you're done with your round of antibiotics. We're not going to tell you to stop taking antibiotics if it's prescribed by your doctor, but once you're done, you need to go through these protocols. You should require yourself to step up, drinking more water, rich foods and loaded with probiotics, healthy natural digestive enzymes to help you digest your food again, because that's really where your immune system evolves and protects you from foreign invaders. And are you anxious about something? Listen, I've experienced this with many of my clients, and Brian has with too. You have to understand and recognize that emotional beliefs, whatever you are feeling emotionally, also has a chemical and physical impact. Everything you do, when you're sad, you cry. When you're happy, when you laugh. When you're stressed, a lot of stuff is going on in your gut. And if you are anxious about something, if you're fearful about something, you're going to feel things or have physical impacts in different parts of your body because of what is going on emotionally. And if you are stressed and you're emotionally holding on to stuff, or if you're anxious, that stress and pressure is going to cause constipation. It's going to keep you from digesting your food. It's going to cause a buildup inside of you. And just like Brian was saying earlier, that is your number one way to detoxify your body, is out through your bowel movements. That's the way your body excretes and gets stuff out. And if that is not regular, you're like a sewage system that's backing up, ready to explode. And you're going to have physical impacts if you don't help get your constipation under control. Russell is actually one of Brian's clients. He's gone from 23% body fat to 7% body fat multiple times, actually. He actually went down to 13% 2 different times. But, just like we talked about emotional withholding, you know, he had family issues. He had limiting beliefs about himself. He had some self-sabotage going on. And every time he started to get a little bit better, but sure enough, he'd start to wreck himself. And until Brian and him were able to reach another level and understand his self-sabotage and what was going on, bring forgiveness and love into it, and turn that self-sabotage into empowerment, that's what really got him down to 7% and is allowing him to hold and enjoy holding a lean body without being destructive again. Brian, you want to go over some good and bad foods?
Yeah, would love to. So dehydration is a chronic factor. We empower you to think if you are drinking sodas, I'm not asking you to quit. If you love yourself, it'd be a wise idea to limit them dramatically to maybe one a week. But just drinking more water. Like Chris and I, when we did our show a few years back, it's like 5 years back now. Dang, time goes fast. We were drinking Diet Cokes for energy and not knowing we were just blasting ourselves and making ourselves worse. If we would have had some amazing water like we're drinking now, we would have felt a gazillion times better for sure. So another thing to keep in mind is food allergies. They cause inflammation and stop digestion. Now, people, you know, you may not think you have food allergies, but you have food allergies. We all do to some level. It's just a matter of whether you recognize them or not. The best thing to do is to tune into how you feel after you have some food. That way you can tell what's going on. 3 things you can do to improve your digestion. Good belly, big shots. They are amazing. Don't buy them at Whole Foods. I love Whole Foods and the experience that I have, but they're typically like $7 to $8 there, at least from what I have seen. So, but if you can find them for $4 and $4.50, they are amazing and they work great. Parashield kills parasites. Very important because we have them. Coconut, specifically monolaurin, helps to fight candida and bacteria. Coconut oil, when is eaten by pregnant mothers, their bodies actually convert it into monolaurin, which is one of the most potent, fierce antiviral products on the planet. Here's 3 things you can do for improving constipation. The morning tonic by my teacher, Mr. Jeff Primack, both of our teachers, is good. Morning tonic is a good belly big shot. It's got a blend of ginseng and wild reishi poured into a cup, and it's got some maca root, which is an endocrine modulator. It helps to balance out our hormones. Veggie smoothies are amazing. If you are constipated, you drink some veggie smoothies, that will go away. Just make sure you do blended smoothies, not juiced ones. Blended because you require the fiber to help to relieve your situation. Avoid salads, especially if your digestion is off and you're not eliminating. Avoid salads. Avoid very yin or cool foods, which would be vegetables, cucumbers, things like that. If you're constipated, avoid chocolate, eggs, or beef. Some things that will help you are eating sweet potatoes, eating black sesame seeds, squash, salmon, stewed apples is probably one of your top ones. Okra, eggplant, hummus, avocado, flax seeds, and acai berry will all help you to eliminate it at a much faster rate. So here is my client, Violet, and we're just going to let her talk.
Hi, my name is Violet. I choose to take a few minutes and talk to you about my experience with reaching out to Brian. About 6 months ago, I contacted Brian. I just had some questions about nutrition, you know, different things I could change up just to start feeling better. And we also talked about different medications I was on at the time. He mentioned foods that that specifically could do the same thing as what the medications were doing, except naturally. And so along with that, and you know, the other list of things that you know, he said, you know, to try, I started doing that immediately. And after about a month, I started to wean myself off of one of my medications. And then after I got off that one, I started weaning myself off another medication. And after 3 months, I had gotten off of 5 medications. Some of these medications I was on for 30 years, some I was on for 15 years, and some I was on for 10 years. And so these are things that I thought I was going to have to take for the rest of my life. You know, before that conversation with Brian, I didn't even realize that there was another option. And, you know, it's been 6 months since I talked to him about these, specific things, in 3 months of being completely off medicine. And I really am so happy and thankful and grateful for Brian and for the work that he does, and just the love that he has for people, and showing them that they have other options, that they can feel good just with the right information. And I just feel really blessed to have that opportunity to talk to him about those things going on in my health and my diet, and that he's so knowledgeable and just really helpful, and offers you this opportunity to change your life. And that's at least the way I look at it, because I look at this more than just oh, I'm off medication. To me, it's a miraculous act, to be able to say I'm free from all of this. And it's also given me such a sense of empowerment too, to know that doctors couldn't do this. Foods from the grocery store did. So it's kind of wild, but definitely grateful for it. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Old model. Only trusting your health to your doctor and not making any lifestyle choices, and thinking that your lifestyle choices don't affect your health I advise you to think there's another option for you. Taking medications to manage your symptoms, trying fad diets, crash diets, or fasting to lose weight, or doing an HCG diet of 500 calories and them not helping you to understand what to do when you get off of it is a freaking disaster in itself. Buying expensive supplements and diet pills and not understanding how to tweak your nutrition. Viewing life's obstacles as hard and too much work and stressful, and creating more stress on yourself.
So we ask you to take open your mind to a new model, right? Which is that you are the only one responsible for your health, well-being, and your future. You have to understand that doctors are really not responsible for your health. They might be trying to help you get better, but the only person responsible for your health is you. Learn how proteins, carbs, fats impact your body composition, how to make them work for you instead of working against you. Learn the power of grocery store foods, not expensive supplements. Brian and I don't sell you some $100 or $500 a month product. We teach you about what to buy in your grocery store to empower you and your family for life and to get off medications. And life is a choice. You can make things fun and easy. If you live in the South at all, you've probably been to Carino's Italian. Johnny's a client of mine. He had the ringer done to him by Western medicine, multiple organs removed, on multiple medications, nobody telling him how to get better. And he's been a client of mine for multiple years, been trying to help him out, and just let Johnny speak for himself. He's a good man.
Hi, folks. This is Chef Johnny Carino speaking to you from my home here in Atlanta about Chris Benberg. I just need to tell you, for the last 3-4 years or so, I have struggled with my very own health issues. I am an expert in the restaurant industry. I'm a great chef. When it comes to health, sometimes you need to reach out to other people. That's why I reach out, and I trust Chris to help me with my plans on eating, being healthy, and ways to beat my diabetes. Chris is A1 in my book.
Here's your invitation now to join us, right? We offer all these free trainings every week, but what we do right now is we offer an online training program with 6 hours, an hour every night. On top of it, we have some coaching that can happen, but we cover every aspect of nutrition that you could possibly imagine knowing. We cover digestion, but we spend multiple hours on all these different subjects like diet theories and how to structure a diet for yourself and disease reversing foods. The mindset that you require to set yourself up for success. We spend a lot of time empowering you with exactly what you require, knowing all of our time and our years and our experience with thousands of people, and we condense it down into bite-sized chunks so that you are empowered for your future. If you can't make the live session, you get access to all the recordings. You will also get our Healthy Aging digital recipe book. We have hundreds of recipes in there, and it's a very valuable tool. We also have a couple of bonuses for you. We have our Facebook community. This is one of the most powerful things that we offer. We have a closed Facebook group for just our clients that you get community support. And you know, if you've ever heard that expression, you're the sum of your 5 closest friends. If you don't surround yourself with people with like-minded goals, it's going to really inhibit your success. If you want to make more money, you hang out with people that are making more money. If you want to be healthy, you hang out with people that are also trying to be healthy. Bonus number 2 that we're going to give for only the first 10 people, and this is important because this is some valuable information, is maybe you have seen some of our quick, short smoothie videos, but we're going to give you the power of smoothie recipes, because smoothie recipe making is a fine, fine art. And knowing what ingredients to put in for your health conditions is powerful knowledge. And of course, what quantities and how much to make a really good tasting smoothie is also very powerful information that we're going to share with you. Bonus number 3 is a consultation with Brian and I. And I gotta be, once again, we have had miracles happen in 15, 20, or 30 minutes. And if we want to set you down the right path, we really require knowing everything about you. So we can give you information, but we've learned from these online trainings that it's difficult if you're not able to ask questions, if you're not set up for success. And the best way we can do that is a one-on-one consultation. But Brian and I only have limited time. We charge a premium for our time because of how much experience we have and how much limited time we have available. So this is only available for the first 5 people that buy this. We'll set you up with a 20 to 30-minute consultation one-on-one where we'll go over specifically your goals, your problems, your struggles to help you set you up for success. And as you can see, Brian and I have both been through the ringer. We have set ourselves up and dramatically changed our own physical bodies, but we've also done it the same for our clients.
So here's what you get. What we're offering you is 6 live online trainings about nutrition mindset, where we're going to talk specifically about how to reverse your symptoms that you may be chilling out bukus of dollars per month on medications that are doing nothing but keeping you dependent on medications. You'll have access to the recordings if you miss the live sessions. You'll also receive our Healthy Eating digital book, where you can start to understand recipes and things that we use to be successful that are really simple. It's just opening your mind to what's available to you. The bonuses that we're going to give you is 2 months free access to our closed paid membership site. You're going to receive 2 specific smoothie recipes, and we're actually going to tailor these to you and some things that you are desiring as far as symptom reversal, energy, brain function, hormones, whatever. We will tailor them just for you and create them just for you after we have our chat to figure out what's going to work best for you. And then, of course, you'll get your 30-minute consultation. Now, all of this stuff together will be a total value of $1,537. But here you go. Today's offer, we typically would charge $499. But here's what we're going to do for you since you stayed till the end. We're actually offering it to you for $244 before 10 p.m. and then it goes up to $499. So if you have had any resonation with what we're talking about and you feel called, here's something we're even going to put a little icing on the cake, is that we're actually guaranteeing your satisfaction. Meaning if you don't like it at any point in time, within 2 weeks after starting the program, you can say, shoot us a text message, call us, whatever. We'll have a conversation with you and we'll give you your money back, no questions asked. We say that boldly because we've never had anyone say that about the information that we share with them, because of the differences that it has made almost immediately when they decide to execute it. So we invite you to join us and take action. Here's your little button to enroll. It takes you straight to the order where you can get your stuff set up, and then we can go ahead and get a consultation set up with you and go ahead and get you started on your program. We appreciate your time, because ultimately that is the only thing that you can never get back. And we appreciate you investing it in yourself through us. So if there's anything that we can do to serve you further than that, we're always here to help you out. Chris, you have anything to add to that?
Just know that we love you. We're encouraged to share information with you. If you have any questions about the program, please reach out to us. Feel free to call, text, email, reach out to us on Facebook. We're pretty good at responding to our email pretty quickly. And we're going to be happy to answer those questions, anything that you might desire to know about. If there's exclusive content that you would like to learn about in future trainings, feel free to also comment on one of our posts and let us know what you desire to learn about so that we can help you and empower you in your health. We love you lots, and we're encouraged that for all of you that decided to join our program and to become part of our little community, we'd love to have you.
Yeah, and one last thing. I think it's important for you to share this because a lot of times people get hung up and say, man, 244 bucks, 244 bucks. Look, what we're offering you is a chance to reclaim your health if you don't have it, a chance to connect with like-minded people so you have support to help you on your journey. What we're offering you is a lot more than $244. It's an investment in yourself with something that could potentially will change your life, could change your family's life. And sometimes I ask myself, we're only charging $244 for information that we've invested $100,000 plus in learning and acquiring over the years, and you get it for 244 bucks. And I think it's important for you to understand this. One time my coach, I was about to invest, well, I still do, over 3,000 bucks a month in coaching. So your $244 is minimal. So what I invite you to consider, he goes, when he presented me the opportunity, I knew I could not do it because I needed the information in order to get to the next level in my life for myself and to support you on my highest level possible. So he goes, you know, Brian, if you focus on the payment, you'll never receive the payoff. And I was like, man, that's a very potent question and way of putting things. And honestly, when I committed to doing that, my life changed almost within days at what showed up for me. So what I invite you to do is, if you're really on the fence, is picture this. What if you don't make any changes in your life right now? And here we are a year from now, and you look back. Are you going to be sitting in your rocking chair going, man, I wish I would have done something a little bit different because now I would have been able to get this 20 pounds off. I wouldn't have had these aches and pains. Now I'm going to the doctor for medications, and now they have me on a whole whirlwind that's never ending because they're putting me on more medications and more experiences that are unnecessary. What happens if you don't change this in 5 years? All we're going to do is teach you how to take the grocery store and make it exciting because you understand what it's going to do for you and how to change it. It's something you can leave your family with because the legacy of wisdom that you leave to help them stay out of the doctor and help them to reclaim their life so they never have to experience the prison that a lot of people are in. You saw the statistics. You have every opportunity to take that time right now and don't go out to eat 4 times. There's your investment. So hopefully this information was something that was useful for you, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side. I know I've already got people messaging me that have already enrolled. So we're really looking forward to serving you and really excited and enthusiastic that you took the time to share with us. So have an awesome night. We love you. And remember, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness.
Have a good night. Bye-bye.